Up to yesterday, we completed some hydrogen that is hydrogen preparation, hydrogen properties, and hydrides uses. So about water, ice form. So water we completed it. In water, a special topic is there, my dear boys. That is, as per industrial needs, our available water is basically divided into two types. So as per industry needs, our available water is basically divided into two types. That is hard water and soft water. Hard water and soft water. What is this hard water? What is soft water? So generally, hardness of water is tested with soap. So here, hardness of water is tested with soap or soap solution. So hardness of water generally tested with soap. Yes. So that means, so industry needs only soft water but not hard water. What is hard water, sir? The water which doesn't give permanent lather with soap. That means foamant. Lather means foam. Which doesn't give permanent lather with soap is called as hard water. Which is ready to give a lather with soap is called as soft water. So what is hard water? So hard water is nothing but, so doesn't give permanent lather with soap. So with soap is called as hard water. Industries doesn't need this hard water. Why, sir? Because, so no doubt, every industry must need water. So in the form of vapors, water is going to be evaporated. Those vapors are used. So those vapor energy coming from those vapors are generally used for running most of the industries. Okay. So that means water is must for every industry in different situations. If water is going to be boiled, if hard water is there, some scales are appeared on the inner walls of those boilers. If we doesn't clean every day, those scales day by day thickness increases. Automatically, the energy consumed to boil that water is also increases. So that means fuel wastage takes place. Fuel wastage. So finally, it needs a lot of energy to boil a small quantity of water. Finally, that boiler goes to be blasting it. That means some dangerous situations are appeared in the industry. That is why water must be soft. But in our nature, most of the water is hard water. Not useful to our drinking purpose. Most of the water is hard water. So today there is a shortage of water. That's why we must convert this hard water into soft. Now, what are different techniques to convert this hard water into soft water? So before going to that, so how to convert this hard water into soft water? So now, what are the chemicals that create hardness to this water? So first we must learn about which chemicals, which are present in our hard water. Which chemicals creates hardness to this water? Okay, first we should observe which chemicals create this hardness. So if you remove those hardness creating materials from that hard water, automatically that water becomes soft water. That means how to convert that hard water into soft water? Those chemicals which are responsible for hardness to that water, if we remove by different techniques, automatically the water becomes a soft water. Okay. So that means, first of all, we must learn. So which chemicals create this hardness? Creates this hardness. See, boys. So there is a classification of this water as per industry norms. Water. This is two types, boys. One is hard water and the other one is soft water. So what is this water? Already explained. So not gives leather with soap, but it gives leather with soap. So readily gives leather with soap are called as soft water. It is hard water. Depending on the soluble substances which are present in hard water to create that hardness, this hard water is once again broadly divided into two types. What is that? So this hard water is broadly divided into two types. One is temporary hard water and the second one is permanent hard water. So temporary hard water and permanent hard water. That means some of the chemicals easy to remove to convert into soft water, but some chemicals are difficult to remove. That means that water which is easy to convert into soft water is called as temporary hard water, and which is not easy to remove, that is called as permanent hard water. Now, what are the chemicals which are responsible for this hardness to the water? That is nothing but, so there are 6 chemicals in it. That is bicarbonates, chlorides, and sulfates of calcium +2 and Mg+2 ions. So calcium bicarbonate, magnesium bicarbonate, calcium chloride, magnesium chloride, calcium sulfate, magnesium sulfate. Totally 6 salts in. Only these 6 salts creates hardness to the water. So bicarbonates, chlorides, sulfates of calcium and magnesium creates hardness to the water. So if any one of these or all these are present in water, automatically that water becomes hard water. But if bicarbonates are there, those are easy to remove. That is why. So the water which contains only bicarbonates as soluble substances, bicarbonates of calcium and magnesium only, not from other metals. So only bicarbonates of calcium and magnesium are there. That water is easy to convert into soft water. That's why that is called as a temporary hard water. That means temporary hardness is due to bicarbonates of calcium and magnesium. But if chlorides or sulfates of calcium and magnesium are present in water, it is difficult to remove that chemicals. It is difficult to convert that hard water into soft water. That is why that is called as a permanent hardness. That is called as permanent hard water. So therefore, this temporary hard water contains bicarbonates of calcium and magnesium ions. Nothing but calcium bicarbonate, that is calcium, CaHCO3 twice. Calcium bicarbonate and magnesium bicarbonate. These are the 2 chemicals which are responsible for this temporary hardness to the water. But permanent hardness, this permanent hardness, hard water, this is due to the presence of chlorides and sulfates of calcium and magnesium ions. Chlorides and sulfates, that is nothing but CaCl2, calcium chloride and magnesium chloride. Calcium sulfate and magnesium sulfate. These are the 4 salts which are responsible for permanent hardness. These 2 salts are responsible for temporary hardness. So now Water that doesn't give permanent lather with soap is hard water. Why water has that hardness? Because of these 6 salts. Because of these 6 salts. If the only bicarbonates are there, easy to convert into soft water. That is called as temporary hard water. If difficult to remove, if these salts are present, it is difficult to convert that hard water into soft water. That is called as permanent hard water. That is permanent hardness. Now, our aim to convert this temporary or permanent hard water into soft water. So what are different techniques which are used to convert this hard water into soft water? This hard water into soft water. Now, the methods used for this purpose are different methods are there. So what are those methods? Let us discuss one by one. See here. That is methods to convert hard water into soft water. Methods to convert hard water into soft water. See boys, temporary hard water easy to remove. That means simple techniques are needed. Simple techniques are sufficient. That is temporary hard water. So permanent water, it is not easy to remove. That is why special techniques are required. So that is why, so different techniques for different types of hardness. See here, for temporary hardness, so one, boiling technique is used. Simple boiling of water. It is one of the methods, boiling technique. And the second one is Clark's method. Clark's method, and that is washing soda process. Washing soda process. These are the 3 methods are used to convert the temporary hard water into soft water. So 3 methods are used. Next, so washing soda, its formula is Na2CO3 boys. Sodium carbonate itself is used to convert temporary hard water into soft water. Let us discuss one by one. Next, if the water is a permanent hardness is there, this permanent hardness is converted into soft water by different techniques. One is Kalgan process. Second one is permitted process. And the third one is, that is ion exchange resin method. Ion exchange resin method, and also washing soda process. That means washing soda process is also useful to convert permanent hard water into soft water. That's why Na2CO3 is used to convert both temporary hardness or permanent hard water into soft water. So these are the different techniques, guys. Let us discuss one by one. So this is, at last, at this point, I will explain it. Up to that, please wait. Okay, now one by one. That is simple boiling. Boiling of hot water. See boys, so in every day in our in morning we are taking bath. So in generally most of the homes, water is going to be boiled on stove. water is boiled on stove. At the initial state, if we fill that water in the bubble, that bowl is very, very clean. Inner walls are very, very clean. After boiling and pouring that water in your bucket, let us observe the inner walls of that boiled bubble. See, automatically we observe a small white scales, a layer of white scales are observed. Am I correct or wrong? Tell me, boys. White scales, layer of white scales are observed after boiling it. Yes, no doubt. Everyone, most of the students we know it. Okay, what are those? All those that is white layer. Those are called as scales. Yes, those are called as scales. What are those scales? Those are not other than carbonates. Actually, you took there that hard water is taken. So it is during boiling, the soluble bicarbonates are converted into insoluble carbonates. So those carbonates are not soluble in water. Those are formed on the inner walls of the vessel as scales. That is what I told at the beginning of this concept. That means bicarbonates are converted into carbonates during boiling. Bicarbonates are soluble in water. That is why, because water is hard water. So that bicarbonate is converted into soft water. So because of that bicarbonate converted into carbonated, that carbonate is precipitated as scales on the inner walls of the bubble. So that means during simple boiling, these bicarbonates are removed as carbonates. Let us take example. That is how that bicarbonate is converted into carbonate. See here. For example, if calcium bicarbonate is there, CaHCO3 twice. Calcium bicarbonate in hard water. In hard water is there. Now, during heating, this calcium bicarbonate is converted into CaCO3 plus H2O plus CO2. CaCO3 plus H2O plus CO2. That means this calcium bicarbonate, which is soluble in water, but this calcium carbonate not soluble. That means it is going to be precipitate. This is formed as a scale on the inner walls of the vessels. That is the scale, calcium carbonate. Similarly, magnesium bicarbonate converted into magnesium carbonate. Magnesium bicarbonate is converted into magnesium carbonate. So not soluble formed as scale cell. Formed as scale cell. For example, magnesium bicarbonate there, MgHCO3 twice. If it is boiled, that means this is also present in hard water twice. So it is boiled, that is magnesium carbonate is there, that is H2O and CO2. So this is also not soluble in it, it is also precipitate. That means soluble bicarbonates are converted into insoluble carbonates. So that means automatically bicarbonates are eliminated as carbonates. That means the water is easily converted into soft water. That means all the bicarbonates which are present in water are converted as carbonates and separate out as scales. That remaining water is nothing but soft water. It is the way to convert that hard water into soft water by simple boiling it. But most of the cases, it is not that much easy. It is not that much easy. That is why other methods may also required for most of the cases. What are those other methods? Second one is, that is Clark's method. Very, very, very important. That is Clark's method. A scientist name any. He used that process. Clark is the scientist name. That is the Clark's method. He used a reagent to convert this hard water into soft water. The reagent used for this purpose is slaked lime. Slaked lime is the reagent to convert that hard water into soft water by Clark's process. What is this slaked lime? Slaked lime is nothing but calcium hydroxide. It is the formula for slaked lime. It is the formula for slaked lime. It is the reagent. How much, sir? My dear boys, it is very, very important. It is calculated quantity, amount. Only we use. Calculated quantity is only we use it. So not excess is used. Not excess is used. So required amount of this slaked lime is added to that hot water to convert into soft water. Only that is the calculated amounts are only used. If excess of this chemical is used, automatically this temporary hot water is converted into permanent hot water. So see in reverse rate. So that is why only we must use calculated quantity. How to calculate? During calculation we will calculate it. Okay. So calculated amount of this chemical is only used, right? Only used. So here, what is the principle here? Let us take. So this slaked lime is added to hot water. That is, for example, calcium bicarbonate is present in water, in hot water. To this, calculated amount of calcium hydroxide is added. To this to that hot water, calculated amount of calcium hydroxide is used. That is called as Clark's reagent. Clark's reagent. So just a simple technique. So automatically this is converted into calcium carbonate and water. Calcium carbonate and water. That is why. So it is 2CaCO3 and 2H2O. It is the balanced one. Now once again calcium carbonate is precipitated out. That means all the soluble bicarbonate, calcium bicarbonate, converted into calcium carbonate, it is separated out. So that means the water becomes soft water because that bicarbonate is removed as carbonate. Soluble bicarbonates are converted into insoluble carbonates. Next, for example, if magnesium bicarbonate is there, these two equations are very, very important, boys. If this magnesium bicarbonate is present in hot water, so this calcium hydroxide is used, automatically that converted into this magnesium converted into magnesium hydroxide and not magnesium carbonate, which is also not soluble. Magnesium hydroxide, next calcium carbonate plus water. Magnesium hydroxide, calcium carbonate and water. So for our convenience, it is 2CaOH twice, it is 2CaCO3, 2CaCO3. So that means all the magnesium bicarbonate is separated out as magnesium hydroxide and remaining is calcium carbonate. Both these are insoluble in water, both these are precipitate out. Both these. That means all the bicarbonate is separated out. Now the water becomes soft. Now the water. See here, these are very, very important points. So what is the principle involved here? What is the principle? If we add this slaked lime to either calcium carbonate or magnesium carbonate, so those chemicals, those bicarbonates are removed as either carbonates or hydroxides. Either carbonates or hydroxides. So those are insoluble carbonates and hydroxide. These bicarbonates are removed. That's why the water becomes soft. For example, if excess of slaked lime is used, see here, note this point. If excess of slaked lime is used, automatically, so that is that excess CaOH twice, it is excess amount. That excess CaOH twice reacts with carbon dioxide, which is from atmosphere. From atmosphere converts into calcium bicarbonate, so which is soluble in water. Soluble in water. That means all the available hydroxide is converted into bicarbonate. Now the water becomes hot water. The water becomes hot water. That is why excess calcium hydroxide is not applied. That is why only calculated amount of lime is used. Calculated amount of lime is used. It is very, very important point, boys. So very, very important. These two reactions, please keep in mind. These two reactions, please keep in mind. It is the way to convert that hot water into soft water. It is the way to convert this hard water into soft water. So these are two methods to convert the temporary hard water into soft water. Now let us take how hard water, that is permanent hot water, converted into soft water. So see here. To convert permanent hard water into soft water, three methods are used. One is Kalgan method, second one is permutate method, third one is ion exchange method, ion exchange resin method. So for both temporary hardness and permanent hardness removing, so soda process is also used, and at last we will discuss it. Now I am taking Kalgan method to convert that permanent hard water into soft water. Kalgan method. Kalgan method. What is Kalgan? Kalgan. What is this Kalgan? It is a solid material, boys. So Kalgan is the common name for the chemical. Kalgan. It is the common name. Common name of the compounds. So actually Kalgan is nothing but sodium hexamethaphosphate. Kalgan is nothing but, so technically Kalgan is called as, so technically, scientifically, so the actual name of this Kalgan is sodium hexamethaphosphate. Sodium hexamethaphosphate. It is the chemical name of Kalgan. It is the chemical name. Chemical name of Kalgan is sodium hexamethaphosphate. Now, what is its formula? What is its formula? Formula is Na2, Na4, PO3, 6 times N. It is the formula, boys. It is the complex salt. It is the complex salt. Na2, see, boys, outside 2 sodiums, inside 4 sodiums. So, number of times asked, which of the following is Kalgan? That is Na2, Na4, PO3, 6 times. Sometimes this formula may also use, so sodium, total number of sodium 6 ra, Na6, phosphorus 6 ra, P6, oxygen 3, 6, 18 ra, O18. So this is formula, this is also formula. Na6, P6, O18 is also the formula of this Kalgan. Sometimes this may also rewrite it as NaPO3 6 times. NaPO3 6 times. It is also the formula of this Kalgan. It is also the formula of Kalgan. This is very, very important. Okay. Here this Kalgan is used to convert hard water into soft water. How is this possible? So boys, these formula are very, very important. Please keep in mind. So Na2 outside 2, inside 4. And Na2, Na4, PO3 6 times. Its chemical name is sodium hexamethaphosphate. Hexamethaphosphate. Now, if this Kalgan is used to convert that hard water into soft water, in particular, permanent hard water. So why water gets permanent hardness? Because of soluble substances, that is chlorides or sulfates of calcium and magnesium. So let us take one of those chemicals which is present in hard water. How that chemical is converted? How that chemical is removed to convert that hard water into soft water with the help of this Kalgan. So let us take these equations. Let us take these equations. That is, so this is hard water. Let us consider that hard water contains magnesium chloride. So in hard water, that magnesium chloride is there. That's why this water is called as permanent hard water. If this hard water is passed through this Kalgan, what is that Kalgan? Kalgan formula is Na2, Na4, PO3 6 times. It is a Kalgan. It is Kalgan. So if this hard water is passed through this Kalgan, so the magnesium ions present in water, Mg plus 2 ions, the magnesium ions present in water, hot water, are displaces the 4 sodium ions present in the Kalgan. Boys, inside 4 sodium and not outside 2 sodiums. So that means, see here, so 4 sodiums means 4 Na plus Ra. This is 4, that means plus 4 is the total charge. To maintain this 4 total charge, that is Mg plus 2, 2 Mg is required to maintain the plus 4 charge. That is why 4 Na plus ions are replaced with 2 Mg plus 2 ions. 2 Mg plus 2 ions. That's why the formula is, that is Now Calgon becomes Na2 outside as it is. That is Mg2. 4 sodiums are replaced with 2 magnesium. So maybe calcium. PO3 6 times plus. So this sodium entered into the water and that converts into NaCl. So let us take this is 2 times. So automatically it is 4 NaCl is coming out. That means the total sodium ions present in the sodium ions which are present in Calgon entered into the water and it is in water end. Now the water contains NaCl but not MgCl2. MgCl2 in water creates hardness but not NaCl. That is it. This water is soft water. This water is soft water because NaCl never creates hardness. So this is hard water and now this hard water becomes soft water. See here. So this complex, this is a soluble complex which is soluble in water. So that means this complex also is which is soluble in, but this doesn't generate Mg plus 2 ions. That is why the water is soft water. Soluble complex is soluble complex, which is not insoluble, not precipitate, which is a soluble complex. This is called as exhausted Calgon, commonly called as exhausted. That means sodium ions are replaced. That's why this Calgon is called as exhausted Calgon, which is a soluble component, soluble complex. That is a soluble complex. Like this, all the magnesium parts converted into sodium parts. That's why the water becomes soft. This is the way to convert. It is used to convert permanent hard water into soft water. Here, inside 4 Na plus ions are replaced with either 2 calcium ions or 2 magnesium ions. Okay, so it is very, very important. Next method. Next one, that is permutate process. Permutate process. What is this permutate process? Before entering into this process, first of all, we must know what is permutate. So in Calgon, we must know Calgon. That is sodium hexametaphosphate. Now, what is this permutate? Permutate is nothing but, so permutate. It is one of the chemicals. Permutate. What is this permutate? It is artificial zeolite. Artificial zeolite is called as a permutate. Artificial zeolite means, so if zeolite, generally zeolite is which is coming from the nature and from the earth crust. So if a chemical, that is, what is zeolite first of all? Okay, what is zeolite, sir? Zeolite is nothing but hydrated sodium, aluminum, orthosilicates. Zeolite is nothing but sodium, aluminum, orthosilicate. Names are important. Sodium, aluminum, orthosilicate. Hydrated means physical hydration. So water molecules are there. So what is its formula? Formula is, so sodium, aluminum, Na2, Al2, Si2, OH, X moles water. So Na2, Al2, Si2, OH, X moles water. This is the formula for this one. So this is called zeolite. If this chemical is extracted from our earth crust, that is natural. So naturally available, this chemical is called as zeolite. And if the same chemical, if you prepared in your lab or industry, that is called as our permutate. What is permutate? Artificial zeolite. If zeolite, what is this zeolite? It is a natural source. So the chemical is called as zeolite. If this is prepared in your industry, that is called as permitted. Permitted, zeolite, both are as it is the same. But one is natural and one is artificial. Okay. Now, how to prepare this zeolite, sir? This zeolite is used. So this permitted is used to convert that hard water into soft water. In particular, but a permanent hard water into soft water. It is the solid, my dear boys, zeolite. So it is orthosilicate, and zeolite is nothing but orthosilicate. Orthosilicate is means. So see here, Si2OH 8 minus ion and this ion is called as orthosilicate ion. That ion is present in. That's why which are called as orthosilicated. Sodium aluminum combination with orthosilicate, which is called as sodium aluminum orthosilicate. So how to prepare this chemical in your lab, in our industry? See here, that is when Na2CO3, sodium carbonate reacts with Al2O3, which is nothing but alumina. Sodium carbonate reacts with alumina. So plus clay. Clay also silicated. What is that clay? Which is nothing but 10% Al2 SiO3 thrice and aluminum silicated. Al2 SiO3 3 times and it is also silicated, boys. This is nothing but clay. So that clay, nothing but this one. This one, all together on heating. That gives permitted tend, which is nothing but artificial zeolite. How to prepare that permitted? Sodium carbonate and alumina and clay are strongly heated. That gives permitted, which is the solid material. This permitted is used to convert hard water into soft water. So how this is possible? See here. What are the reactions behind to convert this hard water into soft water? That is, see boys, hard water. Let us contain calcium chloride as a soluble substance. Now I want to remove that calcium chloride because that calcium chloride creates hardness. Because it is chloride of calcium, it is nothing but permanent hardness. So now to this hard water, that is our zeolite. This hard water is passed through that zeolite, and zeolite is nothing but permitted. What is that formula? Na2 Al2 Si2OH X H2O. Okay, it is our permitted. So through this permitted, this hot water is passed. Now the calcium ions which are present in hot water are replaced these sodium ions present in the permitted. Calcium ions which are present in hot water replaces sodium ions present in that permitted. Now it converts into, so Na2 is replaced with calcium ion. So for charge balance, just one calcium is sufficient. Ca Al2 Si2O8 X H2 plus so in water 2 NaCl are there in water. That means all the available calcium salt is converted into sodium salt. That sodium salt never creates hardness to the water. Now water becomes a soft water. It is a soft water. Because that sodium chloride never creates hardness to the water. Now here, so Na2Al2, this permitted is changed to like this. It is also solid, boys. This is called as exhausted permitted, insoluble permitted, exhausted permitted. This permitted is very costly, my dear boys. That is why for reusing purpose, that exhausted permitted is also reactivated by using some chemicals. So after conversion, so remove that permitted from that instrument. So that permitted is washed with so sodium replaceable chemicals, that is either NaCl like chemicals. That is, see here. Now CaAl2Si2O8X H2O, which is nothing but exhausted permutate, is treated with 10% aqueous NaCl solution. This 10% aqueous NaCl solution is called as brine solution. Brine solution. That means this permutate is shaked in brine solution. All the sodium ions which are present in brine solution now replaces this calcium ion. Now it becomes Na2, Al2, Si2, O8, XH2. Now it is permutating. That is activated permutated. Activated permutator. Now it is reused for conversion that hard water into soft water. See boys, how exhausted permutate is reactivated. What is that chemical used to convert exhausted permutate into normal permutate? That is our aqueous NaCl. 10% aqueous NaCl solution, which is brine solution. Otherwise, so Na2CO3 may also use it, or Na2CO3 may also use it. So these are the chemicals to reactivate that exhausted permutate. Okay. So here cations are exchanged. That calcium ion is replaced. The sodium ion replaced with calcium ion. Now calcium ion replaced with sodium ion. So this is activated permutate. This is reused for converting that hard water into soft water. It is the way to convert that hard water into soft water, boys. Here sodium ions are exchanged. Sodium ions with the calcium or magnesium ion. Okay. So it is, this method is also used to convert temporary hard water into soft water. Temporary hard water into soft water. Okay. It is important. It is important. Next one, and most important, recent days we are using this method. What is that? Ion exchange resin method. That is ion exchange resin method. What is that ion exchange resin method? That is ion exchange resin method. Ion exchange resin method. Very, very important. What is this ion exchange resin method? Before entering into that one, what is resin? So I think in your 9th class or 10th class, resins will come. Already you learned it. Now, what is resin? Resin. What is resin? Resins are nothing but high molecular weight, organic acids or bases. What are resins? Resins are nothing but high molecular weight organic acids or bases. Organic acids or bases. It seems to be like just like our gum. So it seems to be like gum or Fevicol. So something heavy molecular weight. So it seems to be like that. Okay. So these acids and bases, organic acids and bases having high molecular weight are generally called as resins. See here. So in your organic chemistry, in our organic chemistry, acids are nothing but those are the compounds having functional groups. That is COOH functional group. COOH functional group. Compounds having COOH functional group. This is called as carboxylic acid. It is called as carboxylic acid. Nothing but acid. Next, SO3H. It is a functional group which is called as sulfonic group. Sulfonic acid. So these are the two groups which are responsible for acidic nature of organic compounds. In organic chemistry, so which one is taken as acids? So compounds having COOH or SO3H. COOH or SO3H. So these are only acids in your organic chemistry. So let us take our resin is treated as R as a functional group, high molecular weight with COOH or R with SO3H. So this is acidic group set. So these are the resins having this acidic groups. That's why this resin is called as acidic resin. So acid group resins are called as acidic resins. So this is our resin. So later we will use it. Next, in our organic chemistry, bases are nothing but amines. Amines are bases. Nitrogen has lone parent. Nitrogenous compounds are bases. So organic compounds having NaH2 as one of the functional groups are treated as bases. So now, for example, this NaH2 is combination with water, that is H plus and OH minus. So this H plus is joined here. That is why it is NaH3 plus ion, OH minus ion. This is treated as a basic component, aqueous component. So this releases OH minus ion. That's why it is basic. Therefore, this is a basic group. So now our resin formula we treat it as R NaH3 plus ion, OH minus ion. So this is having basic group. That's why it is called as basic resin. That means how many types of resins are there, boys? Two types of resins. What are resins? These are high molecular weight organic acids or bases. If it is acid, that is acidic resin. If it is base, that is a basic resin. This acidic resin and basic resin are collectively used to convert this hot water to soft water. Highly purified water we will get it in this process. Highly purified, as pure as distilled water. See here. This process, 2 steps. It has 2 steps. This method has 2 steps. 2 steps. In one step, see here, I am taking a cylindrical vessel, boy. This is the cylindrical vessel. Cylindrical vessel. At the middle, I am using here acidic resin. Here I am placing acidic resin, boys. This is acidic resin. Okay. So this is acidic resin. And take another vessel. At the middle, we placed basic resin. This is basic resin. So 2 resins. In one vessel, acidic resin. In second vessel, basic resins we taken. We are placed this one. Basic resin means R NaH3 plus ion, OH minus ion. Acidic means let us take R COOH. So this is acidic resin, that is basic resin. Now through these resins, I passed hard water. So hard water is sent into the solution, through the resins. Hard water. Let us consider this hard water contains calcium sulfate. That hard water may contains calcium sulfate. So now the calcium sulfate containing water is passed through this resins end, because resins have some pores in it. Through that pores, it is diffused through that pores. So through the in that diffusion, see here, resins contains H plus ions. The reaction takes place here. That is RCOOH. So this is resin, acidic resin, boys. So this acidic resin interact with Ca plus 2 ions present in hard water. Ca plus 2 ions. Now it converted into RCOO twice Ca, and 2 H plus ions are released into water. That means the coming out water has, so that is, this is the water, coming out water. This water now passed through in second resin and this is water from first step and contains, see here, water is there. So all Ca plus 2 ions are replaced here with H plus ions and SO4 minus 2 ions are there. SO4 minus 2 ions. Only those. Calcium ions are replaced here. This resin contains calcium ions. All the H plus ions in resin coming into the water. So that means all the cations are here. All cations are exchanged with H plus ions. All cations, either Ca plus 2 or Mg plus 2, whatever it may be other than H plus, any other ion is there. All the available cations are replaced here. That is why this acidic resin is called as cation exchange resin. Cation exchange resin. All the available cations are replaced there with H plus ions. Now, this is entered passing through the basic resin. So that means all the available SO4 minus 2 ions here exchanged with OH minus ions. See here, R NaH3 plus ion, OH minus ion interact with SO4 minus 2 ions. That is from hot water. That is from water. Now it converts into R NaH3 plus ions. That is NaH3 twice SO4 plus 2 OH minus ions are coming out. 2 OH minus. That means this is the OH minus ion into water and into water. That means the coming out water has, see here, water is there, no change. H plus ions are there, those are no change. But this SO4 minus ions are replaced with OH minus ions and OH minus ion. H plus and OH minus nothing but H2O. That means it is the purest form of water. All cations are replaced here. All anions are replaced with. So that is why this basic resin is called as anion exchange resin. Anion exchange resin. So that is why. Yes. That is why. So purest form and all the other cations other than H plus are exchanged here. Other than OH minus are exchanged here. Only this is coming out water contains H2O. No other ion are there. That is why. So no ions are there. That's why this water is called as deionized water. Purest form of water. This coming out water is called as deionized water. This is called as deionized water. So that means the water coming out after completion of ion exchange resin method is called as deionized water. It doesn't contain any other ions. Any other ions are there. So that is why it is a demineralized water. No minerals are also there. No salts are there. It is a demineralized water. Because no minerals are there, not used for drinking purpose, unfit for drinking, and this water is not used, even though it is pure. No chemicals are there, no salts are there, no minerals are there, because for our drinking purpose, mineralized water is required. But no minerals are here. Purest form of water. So unfit for drinking and therefore not used for drinking. Not used for drinking, boys. Why? Why, sir? Why not used for? So actually drinking water must contain some minerals like NaCl, just like chemicals in it. But here no chemicals are there, no salts are there. No salts are there. Only H2O. Only H2O. Okay? That is why it is not used. Okay? So that is why it is not used. So therefore it is not used for drinking purpose, which is called as deionized water or demineralized water. It is the utmost as much as pure as our distilled water. Distilled water not used for drinking purpose, boys. Purest form of water. Distilled water and distilled water like water. That is why. So it is not. So boys, here almost hot water is completely converted into purest form of water. Nowadays, water is purified this far. They like this methods in industry and to get highly purified water. Only for industrial purpose, not for us. Not for us. And okay. So this is the way to convert hard water into soft water. Hard water into soft water, that is by ion exchange resin method. Ion exchange resin method. So in acidic resin, all cations are exchanged. In basic resin, all anions are exchanged. That is called as acidic, that is cation exchanger. This is anion exchanger. Anion. That is why it is called as ion exchange. Ions are exchanged. That is why it is ion exchange resin method. By using resins, ions are exchanged. So it is the third method and very, very important method. Now, washing soda process for both temporary hardness and permanent hardness removing cane. Now that is washing soda process. Washing soda process. What is this washing soda process? Washing soda is nothing but generally Na2CO3 10H2O. It is anhydrous substance. I am taking anhydrous substance, anhydrous Na2CO3, which is simply taken as washing soda. It is used to convert both temporary hard water or permanent hard water into soft water. So it is for both temporary hard water and permanent hard water to convert it into soft water. Soft water. So what are the techniques here? See boys, that is, for example, if CaCl2 is present in hot water, in water end. So to this, I am using Na2CO3. This is added in, our soda is added in. So now it converts into CaCO3, which is precipitated out. CaCO3 precipitated out. That sodium and chlorine combination gives 2 NaCl in water end. Therefore, it is a soft end. That is soft water. That means calcium ions are replaced. So that is converted into CaCO3, which is precipitated out by using this Na2CO3. Similarly, for example, magnesium is there. Similar way, it is possible. For example, MgSO4 is there in water, hard water, plus Na2CO3. That gives Mg combination with magnesium carbonate, which is precipitated out. That is Na2SO4 is the product. Doesn't create hardness and it is a soft water. It is a soft water. So that means, so calcium part is converted into calcium carbonate, magnesium part is converted into magnesium carbonate. These are insoluble in water, precipitated out. So this is the way to convert permanent hard water into soft water. Permanent hard water into soft water. For example, bicarbonates are there. That is CaHCO3 twice N. It is a bicarbonate, temporary hard water. Temporary hard water this contains. So that to this Na2CO3 is added in. So our soda is added in. That converts into Na2CO3 is added. That is CaCO3, calcium carbonate plus Na combination. NaHCO3 is formed. Sodium bicarbonate. So calcium bicarbonate is changed to sodium bicarbonate. Not responsible for hardness. Not responsible for hardness. It is a soft end. So it is precipitated out. It is precipitated out. Like this, magnesium bicarbonate is there. MgHCO3 twice. So converts it, that reacts with Na2CO3. That gives MgCO3 plus, which is precipitated out. Which is precipitated out. That means the total calcium and magnesium are removed because those ions particularly responsible for our hardness. So that is NaHCO3. NaHCO3 is formed. Okay. So like this, it is also 2. It is 2 and so like this, both temporary hard water and permanent hard water, these two are temporary hardness. It is a permanent hardness. Both temporary hard water and permanent hard water are converted into soft water just by using Na2CO3. Number of times asked, which of the following reagent is used for both removing temporary hardness and permanent hardness. That is Na2CO3 washing soda. So boys, these are the different techniques to convert that hard water into soft water. Okay, see here. Sir, water has hardness. How much hardness is there? How to calculate hardness to the water? There is certain calculations to calculate this hardness. Already those calculations we completed at the time of stoichiometry. Stoichiometry calculations, we calculated some calculations towards this hardness. So let us discuss a few examples here. So towards that hardness calculations, sir. So let us take calculations in hardness. Okay. This is theory. This is theory. Now problematic parts. Okay. So problems on hardness of water. Please take a title. Problems on hardness of water. Problems on hardness of water. Very important, boys. So already done at the time of our stoichiometry. Just recall. I will recall the concepts. So not too much. Just I'm introducing some concepts. That's enough. So because long back we completed, that's right. I'm recollecting the concepts. Okay. Now, so here degree of hardness, the term is used. What is this degree of hardness, sir? That is extent of hardness possessed by this hard water is called as a degree of hardness. No doubt hard water has something hardness. How much extent of that hardness is there? That extent of hardness, see here, that is extent of hardness possessed by hard water is expressed as degree of hardness. So the extent of hardness possessed by hard water is called as degree of hardness. For my convenience, I am taking degree of hardness shortcut. Okay. So now what are the units of this degree of hardness? Units. So generally this degree of hardness is expressed in terms of, that is units. Units of degree of hardness. That is mostly and common unit is ppm, parts per million. Or sometimes, no doubt, it is the unit ppm. But for calculations, 1 ppm is equal to 1 milligram per liter. 1 milligram per liter. If you calculate milligram per liter, that is equalized to ppm. Which is equal to 1 gram per kg. Sorry, 1 milligram per kg, not gram. 1 milligram per kg, because water has density 190. 1 liter is equal to 1 kg. That means if you calculate milligram per liter or milligram per kg, that is equivalent to ppm. So what generally it is used. What is that? So 1 ppm is equal to 1 milligram per liter or 1 milligram per kg. So generally we are using whatever it may be. So final answer should be in terms of ppm. Okay. So now boys, so the standard compound, so total degree of hardness expressed in terms of CaCO3. Degree of hardness is totally expressed in terms of CaCO3. Whatever it may be, the chemical is available. That is calcium bicarbonate, magnesium bicarbonate, calcium chloride, magnesium chloride, calcium sulfate, magnesium sulfate, whatever it may be, chemical is there. So the equivalent value in terms of CaCO3 is taken as a degree of hardness. The equivalent quantity in terms of CaCO3. So that's why CaCO3 is taken as a standard compound to calculate degree of hardness. CaCO3 is the standard compound to calculate degree of hardness, because CaCO3 in most of the cases CaCO3 is precipitate. That means we must consider gram equivalence concepts. Gram equivalence of that one is equal to gram equivalence of this one. So equivalence ratios we should use it. Okay. See here what happened. So we must in mind the molecular weights of our hardness creating substances. So all these are equivalent. 1 mole of each one is equal to equivalent. So that is why boys. See here, what is the reference compound? CaCO3 is the reference component. CaCO3, which is equivalent to calcium bicarbonate, CaHCO3 twice, which is equivalent to magnesium bicarbonate. Because these are the responsible chemicals to create hardness to the water. Magnesium bicarbonate, which is equivalent to calcium chloride, equivalent to magnesium chloride, equivalent to calcium sulfate, equivalent to magnesium sulfate. So how, sir, when these are equivalent? 1 mole each we consider it. 1 mole each. That is why I am taking this is 1 mole, 1 mole, 1 mole each end to equalize. That means whatever it may be the chemical given to you, that value should be converted into in terms of CaCO3. So CaCO3 value should be the hardness to the water. So the value corresponds to CaCO3 is the hardness of water. So whatever it may be the chemical given to you, that value must be converted in terms of CaCO3. 1 mole of this one, 1 mole of this one, 1 mole of this one. Now 1 mole means molecular weight. Molecular weight. CaCO3 molecular weight 100 ppm. 100 I am explaining in terms of ppm. That's so 100. Now it is 162 is the molecular weight. 162 ppm. That means 162 ppm of calcium bicarbonate is equal to 100 ppm of CaCO3. 100. That means magnesium bicarbonate. Magnesium bicarbonate. It has 146 is the molecular weight. 146 ppm. 146. CaCl2, that is 111 ppm. 111 molecular weight. MgCl2 has 95 ppm. Molecular weight 95. CaSO4, calcium sulfate, it has 136 is the molecular weight, 136 ppm. MgSO4, that is 120 ppm. So these are the molecular weight, boys. So whatever it is the known terms, and it is the known terms. By using these known terms, you should calculate unknown values only in terms of CaCO. Only in terms of CaCO. Okay. So the formula used to calculate degree of hardness is, so before going to take the formula, let us take one problem. Let us take one problem. See here, problem wise, that is if a sample of water contains if a sample of water contains 30 ppm MgSO4, then its degree of hardness is a dash. Then yes, correct boys. Then it's degree of hardness. What? That is degree of hardness only with respect to CaCO3. It is the degree of hardness only with respect to CaCO3. That means 100 ppm CaCO3 is equal to 120 ppm MgSO4. Therefore, MgSO4 value, sorry, it is 30 any. 30 ppm MgSO4 is equal to how much? That is degree of hardness. Therefore, degree of hardness is equal to 100 into 30 by 120, which is equal to 25, that is 25 ppm. Our answer is 25, not 30, boys. Now, how to calculate degree of hardness, sir? See here, 100 always common because it is always common. 100 into given ppm by molecular weight of gram molecular weight of given compound. 120 is the molecular weight of that component. So it is the formula to calculate degree of hardness. See boys, degree of hardness is inversely proportional to molecular weight of the compound. Degree of hardness is inversely proportional to gram molecular weight of the compound. More is the molecular weight, less is the degree of hardness. That means among these 6 chemicals, which one creates less degree of hardness if the number of moles are same? If equal weights are considered, which one creates more degree of hardness and which one creates less degree of hardness? Okay, that is, so degree of hardness is important. Degree of hardness is inversely proportional to gram molecular weight of substance. Among all these, this is reference compound. So it is the highest value and highest gram molecular weight. That means it creates least degree of hardness. Yes. Next, where it is magnesium chloride, it has the least molecular weight. Least molecular weight among all these chemicals. Among all these chemicals, that has least molecular weight. That creates more degree of hardness. So let us take an example. Question, equal weights of CaSO4, MgSO4, CaCl2 and MgCl2 are present. Equal weight of these chemicals are present. The salt which creates high degree of hardness is dash. The salt which creates high degree of hardness is dash. High degree of hardness, because degree of hardness is inversely proportional to gram molecular weight. So equal weights, because weights are equal, otherwise it is not possible. So CaSO4, this is CaSO4, MgSO4, CaCl2, MgCl2. Okay, among these, so that is high means low molecular weight. That is MgSO4 is the answer. Sorry, MgCl2. MgCl2, that creates more degree of hardness. So only weights are equal, boys. Only weights are equal. Okay. So otherwise it is not possible. Next. These two bicarbonates gives a temporary hardness. These 4 gives permanent hardness. So these are temporary hardness. Those are permanent hardness. Next. Degree of hardness, it is also important point. Degree of hardness is also calculated by using the formula weight of substance, in case of weight is given to you, weight of substance in grams by gram molecular weight of substance into 10 power 8 by weight of water in grams. Weight of water in grams. It is also degree of hardness calculating formula. Here also degree of hardness is inversely proportional to gram molecular weight. Okay, if weights are common, automatically gram molecular weight is inversely proportional. Now, very important formula. Now calculate one problem. That is 20 liters of water. 20 liters of water contains 6.66 grams of CaCl2. So the degree of hardness is dash. So 20 liters water contains 6.6 grams of CaCl2. The degree of hardness is dash. Simple calculation. Use this formula. Degree of hardness is equal to weight of substance in grams. That is grams. That is 6.66 by molecular weight of that substance. Gram molecular weight of CaCl2 111 into 10 power 8 by weight of water in grams. Here 20 liters. That is 20 kg. 20 into 10 power 3. 20 into 10 power 3. Tell me the answer, boys. Tell me the answer. Yes, 3000. This is the degree of hardness. So it is very important formula. Most of the cases this formula is used in most of the cases. Now let us take one more problem. That is the hardness of water is mainly due to magnesium bicarbonate. Magnesium bicarbonate, and it is equal to 250 ppm. And it is equal to 250 ppm. The mass of calcium hydroxide slaked lime needed to precipitate all the magnesium bicarbonate present in 1 liter water will be dash milligram per liter. Dash milligrams. I want milligrams. Try yourself, boys. Hardness of water is mainly due to magnesium bicarbonate. Hardness of water mainly due to magnesium bicarbonate, and it is heat equal to 250. That means degree of hardness is 250 ppm. So our formula is degree of hardness is equal to weight of substance in grams by gram molecular weight of substance into 10 power 8 by weight of water in grams. Weight of water. That means, first of all, I am trying to calculate how much weight of this magnesium bicarbonate is there. So use that equation, that is magnesium bicarbonate when reacts with calcium hydroxide. So magnesium hydroxide and calcium carbonate and water is formed. By using that equation, using stoichiometric calculations, we have to calculate next concept. First of all, how much magnesium bicarbonate is there? By using this formula, I am calculating magnesium bicarbonate. So degree of hardness, that is 250. 250 is equal to weight in grams by gram molecular weight of magnesium bicarbonate. Gram molecular weight of magnesium bicarbonate. How much it is? Magnesium 146 into 10 power 8 by weight of water in grams. 1 liter means 1 kg. 1 kg means 1000 grams. Therefore, 1000 grams. So now that implies weight of magnesium bicarbonate is equal to, tell me the answer, boys. Weight of magnesium bicarbonate is equal to 0.365 grams, which is equal to 365 milligrams. 365 milligrams. That is weight of magnesium bicarbonate. Now, I want to convert that magnesium bicarbonate, how much is required. See here, the formula for that one is, if magnesium bicarbonate reacts with calcium hydroxide, Clark's method, this is the equation Clark's method. So that is 2 calcium hydroxide gives CaCO3 plus magnesium converted into magnesium hydroxide plus H2O. So 2 H2O, 2 CaCO3, MgOH twice. This is the balanced equation, boys. So from this, 1 mole magnesium bicarbonate required 2 moles calcium hydroxide. 1 mole means 1 into 146 grams. Now I am taking milligrams. Required 2 into its molecular weight, calcium hydroxide. Calcium and that is 40 plus 17 plus 17, 34. That is 74. 74 is the molecular weight. 74 milligrams calcium hydroxide is required. Now this much milligrams, 365 milligrams required how many milligrams of this calcium hydroxide? It is a stoichiometric calculation. Finally, we will get 370 milligrams. That means 370 milligrams of calcium hydroxide is required. 370 milligrams of calcium hydroxide. First of all, I am calculating how much magnesium bicarbonate is there. By using this equation, I want to calculate how much calcium hydroxide is required. So this is the Clark's method equation, boys. Clark's method equation. By using this Clark's method equation, we should calculate, we apply stoichiometric calculation. Yes, 370 milligrams. Answer is 370. Very, very important. Like this, number of problems are available in your integrated book. Workload examples are there. Please solve them. Please solve them anyway. No. In front of me, there is a book binder, boys. No doubt. It is not possible to find out, to remember all the problems. Okay? Number of times asked model ending. This is, I will explain. One more question. That is, 6 ml of soap solution, 6 ml of soap solution, that is 1 ml is equal to 0.001 gram CaCO3. 1 ml soap is equal to 0.001 gram CaCO3. Dissolved in 1000 ml of water. 1000 ml of water. The degree of hardness is dash ppm. The degree of hardness is dash ppm. Six ml soap solution. So what is that? 1 ml soap solution is equal to 0.001 gram CaCO3. 0.001 gram CaCO3. Dissolved in 1000 ml. Dissolved in 1000 ml. How much is answer? Yes, 6 ppm. Correct, boys. 6. That is 1 ml soap is equal to 0.001 gram CaCO3. That means 6 ml soap means 0.006 grams CaCO3. That means 6 milligrams CaCO3 in 1 liter water. That means the milligrams present in 1 liter, milligrams of CaCO3 present in 1 liter is nothing but ppm. That means 6 milligrams per liter CaCO3 is there, and milligram per liter is nothing but ppm, and that is 6 ppm is the answer. Answer also in terms of CaCO3. Also in terms of CaCO3. That's why the final answer is 6 ppm. And final answer is 6 ppm. Next. Next. 100 kg water sample contains 100 kg water sample contains 6 grams magnesium sulfate, 16.2 grams, 16.2 grams calcium bicarbonate, and 13.6 grams calcium sulfate. Calcium sulfate. Calculate temporary hardness, permanent hardness, and total hardness. Calculate temporary hardness, permanent hardness, total hardness. Boys, so this creates only temporary hardness. This one and this one creates permanent hardness. Calculate individual value you use for required for conditions. So now degree of hardness from first one MgSO4 is equal to weight in grams, weight by molecular weight of MgSO4 ending, that is 120 into 10 power 8 by, so 100 kg, that is 100 into 10 power 3 grams. That is degree of hardness from MgSO4 ending. That is how much it is? 50 ppm. That is 50 ppm. Similarly, calculate two other values also. Two other values like this. Calculate. Now, degree of hardness from calcium bicarbonate, CaHCO3 twice, is equal to weight 16.18 grams by molecular weight of calcium bicarbonate. That is how much? 162, na? Yes. 162 into 10 power 8 by 10 power 5. How much it is? 100 ppm. Next, degree of hardness from CaSO4. CaSO, which is equal to weight 13.6 by 136 into 10 power 8 by 10 power 5, which is also 100 ppm. Which is also 100 ppm. Now, here, so magnesium sulfate, it is a permanent hardness. Bicarbonate, temporary hardness. It is a permanent hardness. Now, total permanent hardness is equal to 50 plus 100, which is equal to 150 ppm. Temporary hardness is equal to 100 ppm. Now, total hardness is equal to, so 250 ppm. 250 ppm. That is the total hardness. Okay, yes. So this is the way to calculate permanent hardness, temporary hardness, like that. Last problem for today's class. So very, very important, and most of the times asked problem, boys. That is 100 ml sample of hot water . 100 ml sample of hot water is passed through a column of ion exchange resin RH2 and resin formula. Ion exchange resin. Full stop. Water coming off the column requires 16 ml, 0.025 m NaOH solution. 16 ml, 0.025 m NaOH solution. So what is the hardness? What is the hardness in terms of Ca+2 ions? Hardness in terms of Ca+2 ions. That is nothing but degree of hardness in terms of Ca+2. So Ca+2, let us consider CaCO3. Ca+2 coming from CaCO3. So final answer should be in ppm. Final answer should be in ppm. It is a question, boys. So it is a previous mains bit. Let us observe. See here, boys. Hard water is passed through ion exchange resin. That means, so it is RH2. RH2 is nothing but RH2. It is nothing but R plus 2 H plus ions. Therefore, it is acidic resin. Acidic resin. So that means cations are exchanged here. Cations are exchanged. So now, what is the reaction behind it? The reaction behind it, that is in terms of Ca plus 2, that is RH2 when reacts with Ca plus 2, that gives RCA plus 2H plus ion. That means final solution is acidicant. This acidity of final solution is treated with base. That means this reacts with NaOH. NaOH. Therefore, as per our stoichiometric conditions, so that is, see here, milli equivalence of this one, that is gram equivalence of this one is equal to gram equivalence of this one. Gram equivalence of this one is equal to gram equivalence of this one. I am using gram equivalence concept, law of equivalence you just found. Now I am using law of equivalence. That means, therefore, gram equivalence of Ca plus 2 is equal to gram equivalence of H plus, which is equal to gram equivalence of NaOH. Gram equivalence of NaOH. Now I am calculating first of all gram equivalence of Ca plus 2, which is equal to gram equivalence of NaOH. How to calculate gram equivalence? Gram equivalence is equal to normality into volume in liters. Normality into volume in liters. That is equal to, how much is the normality? See boys, for NaOH, N factor is equal to 1. Therefore, molarity is equal to normality. Molarity is equal to normality. Therefore, 0.025 into volume 16 ml, but I want liters 16 by 1000. 16 by 1000. This is gram equivalence of NaOH, which is nothing but automatically gram equivalence of Ca plus 2. Gram equivalence of Ca plus 2. Now, how much is this value? That is equal to 4 into 10 power minus 4. This much is the gram equivalence. Now, I convert this gram equivalence of CaCl2. Gram equivalence is nothing but number of N into N factor. N into N factor. Now, I convert that one into number of moles. Therefore, N into N factor for Ca plus 2 is equal to 2 is equal to 4 into 10 power minus 4. 4 into 10 power minus 4, which is equal to, that implies number of moles of Ca plus 2 is equal to 2 into 10 power minus 4. Now I am converting that value into grams. Number of moles is nothing but weight by gram molecular weight is equal to 2 into 10 power minus 4. 2 into 10 power minus 4. That is equal to, so I'm calculating here, boys. So weight by gram molecular weight. So mostly this is Ca plus 2 is coming from CaCO3. That's why I'm using 100 is the molecular weight end. Is equal to 2 into 10 power minus 4. That implies weight of Ca plus 2 is equal to 2 into 10 power minus 20 per 100 ml, boys. It is for 100 ml. Up to our calculation is up to 100 ml. But so this much grams per 100 ml. Therefore, so 100 ml solution contains 2 into 10 power minus 2 grams. So 10 power 6 million parts ending contains how much? That gives finally ppm value. That is 2 into 10 power minus 6 minus 2 into 10 power 6 by 100. That is equal to 200 ppm. 200 ppm. Therefore, final answer is 200. Final answer is 200. It is the way to calculate the problem, boys. We are using, yes, this is 100 ml. 100 ml sample of hot water. We are using for, that means all these calculations only for 100 ml sample. But ppm means million parts. 100 ml contains that much, million parts contains how much. Okay.